welcome to Wistful Vision. We've got 4 different cards here with messages from different aspects. I don't know which is which, I just shuffled it and laid them all down as is. Go ahead and take a second to choose. And group 1, you have inner child. So you're going to hear some messages from your inner child and figure out which deck wants to talk. Familiar Tarot wants to talk, which is a bit interesting because usually this deck likes to speak for the animal spirits that are, walking beside or speaking for or what have you. But your inner child wants to use this deck. I suppose it makes sense, kids generally like animals. Yep. Yeah, let me shuffle. Thank you. One more. No. A little bit excited. One more. Seems like one more wants to come out. Okay. That's a little bit more than one more, but I can roll with it. Oh, okay, hiding. Interesting. Okay. I'm not a huge fan of sugarcoating things, but when it comes to your inner child, the inner child speaks like a child, has the mentality of a child, and it seems they're having a hard time talking. I'm gonna have to keep clearing my throat until I get this message out. I try not to use the words of the inner child. I try to interpret it, but I'm discovering that it's just just best to use their words. Yeah, confirmation on that. Okay, so your inner child is showing you the Tower, You've got Six of Pentacles in reverse, supported by the Eight of Wands in reverse. You have the Seven of Pentacles, the Moon, Six of Wands, King of Wands, the Hermit in reverse. I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to bear with me here. Nine of Swords in reverse. Knight of Cups in reverse. Eight of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. The Sun in reverse. And the Knave of Cups in reverse. At the bottom of the deck, sorry. And that one doesn't want to come out just yet, but it wants to, so that'll come out a bit later. So, your inner child is upset. They are feeling a bit overlooked, forgotten, that you guys are forgetting about them, just not tending to your inner child's needs. And they're trying to remind you that they have their needs, but you're blinded to them. You're not paying attention. Keep in mind, this is how they're feeling. Your inner child still has childlike aspects to them, even though they can be all-knowing, like your higher self and your core, and you know, other beings like that. They still have childlike qualities about them, and so they're pretty upset. And they kind of feel like you're just not giving a shit about them right now. From their childlike point of view, you're doing your own thing in the 3D, being happy about it and being, all up in your own, just not thinking about them. They kind of want to break free. They want out. They want to be tended to. They're starting to get a bit stir crazy. How do you say that? They're not quite angry. They're just feeling left out. They're feeling forgotten. That you're leaving them behind and minding your own 3D self. They're unhappy. You're kind of hoping that you're going to come back around, that you're going to remember them. And 10 of Cups in reverse. They're not feeling connected to you. It just reiterates their unhappiness. Now, funny thing about this is I did do a recording like this before. And believe me or not, because fact is I can't show you, but I did do a recording. Your inner child was quite upset and throwing a tantrum, and your higher selves had to come in and, kind of be the parental figure toward your inner child, and your core had to step in to mediate between the two. It was rather entertaining. Sorry, not in I'm not laughing at you, just me as a reader watching these cards fly out and feeling the energies come in. It was really interesting to see. But but unfortunately that video disappeared from my laptop. So now this is my second recording of this. So this time your inner child is more settled, and they want to be heard, and but they're speaking more calmly this time. They're not throwing a tantrum per se. Oracle. Magic of You Oracle is what your inner child is wanting. One more. Yeah, your inner child is pretty upset. Because I assure you I am not sick, but as soon as I started touching these cards, that's when my throat started acting up and my nose. So perhaps after this read everything will clear up. No. Oh. Wow. Okay, again, believe me or not, your inner child is a bit pouty. Though, like I said, they are much calmer this time around compared to the last time. Mosaic, let chance play its creative role in your life. So this is your inner child just trying to remind you they're there. Have some fun. Don't get caught up in your everyday lifestyle. You could be working a lot, and according to your higher selves, you are doing what you need to do. So you're not doing anything wrong. You are on track. You're at par. Y'all are doing great. It's just your inner child is feeling a little lonely. Solitude, alone, but not lonely. So this is kind of where they get a bit pouty, is they are feeling lonely, but they're just kind of sitting there like, fine, if that's the way you're going to be, then I won't be lonely for you, type of thing. They understand what it is that you got to do, but they're feeling stifled. There's a solution to every problem. So even if you're working harder and maintaining that momentum, that flow, there's always a way to incorporate some fun in there that your inner child wants. So even if you have, pick up an ice cream cone on your way home from work or something, Vertigo, whatever you choose will be correct. So they're totally leaving it up to you, whatever it is that you want to do, however you want to incorporate childlike fun into your everyday lives. Your higher selves are demanding that I say it is not absolutely necessary. It's just your inner child is making this request. They are asking. At the bottom of the deck, Samadhi, perfect acceptance. So again, your inner child does acknowledge what it is that you need to do, and they do accept it, but your inner child is still childlike. Okay? So even if it's just a few minutes to get that ice cream cone or a baggie of candy, you know, whatever it is that your inner child likes, and confirmation, they're just asking that you somehow incorporate that in. Keep doing what you're doing, because none of them want you to go off track or lose your momentum or anything. Keep doing what you're doing. Just throw a little something in there for your inner child. That is what they are requesting, and I have to stress that out, requesting, because it is not mandatory. It is a request. So at your discretion. That is how you're gonna have to do it. And that is it for the cards. That's all they want to say. That's all that wants to speak. This is, rather short and sweet. Your higher selves are happy, and your inner child, well, they're still pouty, but it's all good. I'll move on to the next group. Group 2, as I mentioned, I don't know which this is, so ancestors. Your ancestors have a message for you. And I want to use my the Disney Villains deck. And one more. Pretty adamant on the shuffling today. And there's some more that wants to come out. And I'll just keep shuffling. For these kinds of reads, I don't usually have a set amount of cards, like a specific amount. I let the cards give me whatever it is they want to give me, or in this case your ancestors, since they want to use this deck, they can give me as many cards as they feel they need to. Sometimes this is the only part that takes the longest in each read. It's them trying to figure out which cards to spit out. Oh, that kind of started me. Wasn't complaining. Okay. So it seems like there may be two groups of you. Seems like. Okay. That is the way it wants to lay. This is where you guys want to come in. Okay. A little bit different from what usually occurs, but I can work with it. So there's two different groups of you. This is one group, this is the second group. I'll work all this out when we get there. So for the first group, you got the World, the Knight of Cups, Strength, the Three of Swords in reverse, Five of Coins, the Hanged Man in reverse, the Emperor in reverse. Okay, so just take whichever road that resonates the most with you. Yeah. So for the first group, your ancestors are watching over you. It's kind of what they're trying to depict with this card. Okay. But it's also like they're saying that they like your view of the world as well. Okay? Your view of your life, your environment, your own personal world, the world. They like your view of it. They find that you have a lot of strength, patience, willingness to be that go-getter. Now, life has its ups and downs, but for right now, your life is on the up. You don't have to worry about any hurt or pain or heartbreak or having to make a difficult decision. You know, everything is great for now, right now. You are well on your way for financial stability and your own personal stability, grounding. You're not afraid to deal with those skeletons in your closet. You're not afraid to look at the hidden aspects of yourself, the shadow aspects of yourselves. Though they find that you are getting a little too comfortable where you are because you're a go-getter. And it seems that with your comfort, with the way your life is going right now, you're settling into it. Okay. They're worried that you will forget to be that go-getter, that you will be too comfortable to expand, to grow, to reach further. Stagnancy and comfort. They don't want you to be so comfortable. I mean, be comfortable. Just keep moving, keep reaching further. You've achieved one goal, move on to the next. Second group. King of Wands in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. Two of Wands in reverse. Four of Coins in reverse. Three of Coins in reverse. Ace of Coins in reverse. Ten of Swords in reverse. Okay, for the second group here, know your ancestors are watching. They are concerned. Everything is going for you. Like everything's working out. You hardly have any hurdles. You don't currently have enemies, frenemies, adversaries. There's no competition going on in your life. There's no hurdles, but you're not moving forward. And it seems that you're afraid to move forward, afraid to open that door of opportunity, you're afraid to take that first step. And they're warning that you're not going to achieve your goals. You will not, like you're, I don't want to say plummeting, because it's not exactly a plummet, but you are falling back. You're falling back. And that's just due to security. Like you wrapped yourself up in your security blanket, not knowing what's on the other side of having a goal is holding you back. Oh, at the bottom of the deck, the Magician in reverse. This wanted to come out for the second lot of you. You're losing the magic of life. You're losing the magic within yourself because you're too insecure to move forward. You're too fearful of that first step. Queen of Swords wants to come out of the deck for the second group as well. This is the kind of person that you are. You are a clear communicator. You're strong-willed, you're intelligent, decisive, but for some reason, something is holding you back. And you, obviously you are holding yourself back, but something within you, something is creating that fear. You need to figure out what that fear is. so that this can flip back over. Oh, well, okay, I flipped it back over for you. So you're gonna figure that out. And down here, Ten of Wands, the Moon in reverse, King of Swords in reverse, Knight of Wands. I think I may have said Knight, I'm sorry, 9 of Wands, Two of Coins in reverse. Okay, for the first group, the outcome if you remain comfortable, you're going to feel really heavy. Your higher self, your core, your inner child, like the ancestors are forewarning you, if you remain comfortable where you are and not reach further, because you have a lot of potential, you can move ahead with ease. Everything is going well for you right now. If you do not do that, then everything is just going to weigh down on you. And this just kind of reiterates that everything is going well for you right now. The path is clear to you. Confirmation. It all has to do with your comfort. You just feel secure where you are, but you can grow, maybe get that promotion. You just gotta move forward, keep going. You will lose your momentum. You'll lose your, I don't want to say stature, because it's not your stature. Like you yourself will kind of forget your place in your world if you remain comfortable not moving forward. You're just going to get lost in it all, forget who you are, kind of thing. And it's a forewarning. It's not saying it's going to happen. Your ancestors are just telling this first group, this is what will happen should you remain too comfortable where you are. Now, the second group, this is also a forewarning. The second group, I shouldn't say forewarning, this is more reassurance. You got the Nine of Wands, it's reassurance. Your ancestors are there, they're backing you up. You have nothing to fear. Okay, you can lean on them because they're there, they are pushing you. So whatever signs they're showing you, you're ignoring them. And they really, like, this is another sign. They're really trying to push you forward, push you out of your, because it's a personal fear of something that that may have happened. It's like you're afraid of things not going the way you expect them to, but they want you to push forward anyway. Otherwise, you're going to be imbalanced. You're not going to be able to gain, as this mentioned here. You're falling behind. You're falling back, and they don't want to see you stuck in that spiral. I mean, look at the shape he's in. I'm not looking at it as an infinity sign here. It's you're going to be caught in a spiral if you don't move forward. Again, these outcomes are not certain. You know, they're not set in stone. They're just forewarnings of what will happen should you, the first group, remain comfortable. Reassurance for the second group that your ancestors have your back. They're supporting you, they're nudging you forward, but they're also pointing out you're ignoring all their signs. And they don't want to see you caught up in this spiraling downfall. Because you're not plummeting. It's you got a bit of time. But they don't want to see you stuck there. Spirit of the Animals Oracle. I'm going to come out. Okay. That one is ready. One more. Alrighty. So this one wanted to be here. Okay, I think that's where they want to sit. Alright, for the first group, we got Wolf, Pathfinder. Release your past and start a new journey. You are a teacher and help others find their way. There will be challenges, but your soul is strong. Perseverance is your secret power. You have a love that endures. So just reminding you, reach a bit further. Maybe that's what you're capable of doing next. Teaching others, guiding others, not saying you need to change professions or anything, just, this is what you can do next. Unicorn, infinite possibilities. You are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light. Abandon the darkness. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. For the first group, again, just telling you this is infinite possibilities should you take that next step and reach farther. Moose, wisdom. Let your hidden minds reach to the stars, yet keep your feet grounded on the earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. You're just at that place in life now. You've gained a lot of experience. So move forward with it. For the second group, Hummingbird, miracles. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. So just encouragement to step out of your security blanket, step out of your safe zone. Don't be afraid of that first step because you're a good person. You have a lot of light to share. Pronghorn, action. Now is the time to act. Opportunities are here. Move forward with confidence. Your talent will always help you land on the pinnacle. Your quick wit and keen senses will lead you to success. So they're reminding you of the qualities that you have. And again, reiterating, they are showing you signs, you're just ignoring them. So this card is telling you, pay attention to them. A lot of opportunities for you. Pick one. Cougar, assertive. In silence you find power. Claim your leadership role and take action. You know where to go and what to do. You have the courage and You have the courage and confidence to succeed. Sorry. So you got it. and shake off that fear. At the bottom of the deck, Raccoon Inventor. Decide on what you really want. You have the ingenuity to claim it. Avoid being the trickster and practice integrity. You have many roles and can juggle them well. This is for the both of you, both groups. Because both groups are a little bit stagnant right now. Both for different reasons, but you're still stagnant. Just, get moving. At this point, there's really no reason for you to be at a standstill. There's nothing holding you back. There's nothing blocking you except yourself. And I think that's it for the cards. That's all that wants to speak, and that's all they want to say. Okay. Well, that wasn't so bad. So I'm gonna clear out these decks, and I'll move on to the next group. Group 3, as I said, I don't know what this is. Higher self. So your higher self has a message for you. And seems they want to use my Supernatural tarot deck. One more. Yeah. I was doing the inner child read, and the higher self of that group had stepped in, and they wanted to use this deck then too, but I didn't pull this deck up for that read. That read is all about the inner child, not the higher self. Though the higher self had some messages and reminders and reassurances. So for this one, they are adamant in using this deck for this read. They've waited their turn. I don't typically have a set amount of cards between your higher selves and this deck. I will let them figure out how many cards they want laid out, and we'll go from there. Okay. That card wanted to come out earlier when I was cutting the deck to shuffle. Normally I would take all the cards that... Oh, you want to come out? I would take all the cards that drop, but I'm not going to take it this time. There's some more. 2 more, I think. There you are. Okay. You want to that way, and you were not. That's what I thought. All right. Okay. You got the 5 of Knives, the Tower in reverse, Four of Pentagrams, 5 of Bones, Ace of Pentagrams in reverse, 7 of Cups, Seven of Bones in reverse, 3 of Bones, oh sorry, 3 of Knives, the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, Death in reverse. At the bottom of the deck you got 2 of Goblets, okay. Your higher selves want you guys to be careful. There seems to be some kind of discrepancy coming up. Personal life, work life, social life, you know, gauge it. But there's a discrepancy coming up, a type of disagreement. It'll be a situation where you will have to not just speak your mind, but be honest about your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings. You know, if it's a social situation with your friends, make sure they understand how you're feeling about it. As long as you're completely honest about it, it won't get in the way of anything. But it's coming up. Either you're in it now or it's coming up rather quickly. Within the next 8 to 10 days is what I'm feeling. There'll be a bit of a discrepancy. It's not terrible. It's just you know, your usual type of disagreement between friends, family, co-workers, you know. But again, if you're honest with your feelings, your thoughts, you communicate clearly, the two of you or the few of you will, because it could be between 3 people in this case for some of you, you won't be stuck in it. It'll all be worked out. Once it gets worked out, your relationship, whatever type it is, will be stronger. You'll all agree that it's not agree to disagree per se, but you'll agree that each one of you has your own idea, your own opinion, your own feelings. it will be accepted, acknowledged, and considered. So it's not an agreement to disagree per se. It's just mindful of the other person. So really nothing to worry about there. It'll open you up more. If you're already open-minded and open-hearted, like, it'll open it up more. So your open-mindedness will become broader. It will help you think, not that you're not creative, but it'll help you think more creatively, more outside the box. After this little disagreement here, you will learn how to look from that particular point of view. So you're going to be able to move forward with that newly learned skill. That is the most recent. This is a little bit past that. Oh. Okay. So there's a reason for this disagreement. Obviously there's a reason for everything. At least I believe there's a reason for everything that happens. It's like a stepping stone on your path. So this disagreement here that teaches you that extra outlook, you're going to need to utilize that newly learned skill for this section here. And this section here will come in 10 to 14 days from watching this about. It may not be as bad as it looks, as this picture depicts. But I did accidentally call this the Three of Bones too. So far from it. So that just correlates with this row here. It's a skill that you're going to take into moving into this situation. So you're going to have to make a decision, but you're already going to have that new way of thinking, or the addition to the way you already think. Everything will work out just fine. Nothing to worry about here. Confirmation. This just, like, it's insistent. Everything will be fine, so long as you utilize this skill that you learned up here. This different viewpoint that you now know how to incorporate. You're going to be happy. Everything's going to work out for you. Now, the death in reverse, typically death is, typically it's a death of something old to make way for a birth of something new. But usually in reverse, like, it kind of holds off on it. But in this read, it's different. I have to get a clarification card for that one. Bottom of the deck, Two of Goblets. I'm going to leave that out so that, because it still counts. I just need a clarification. Oh. One more. I think that card just wants to stay out because I haven't been able to really touch it. So where I asked specifically for just one card, because I already have that one. I said one. Queen of Goblets in reverse was just kind of stuck in my hand. I didn't want to leave. Queen of Pentagrams in reverse is at the bottom of the deck. Let's try to put these together here. This one does not want to be read just yet. Okay, so I asked for one, it gave me 4, not including this extra one that fell out. 4 of Knives in reverse. The World in reverse. Page of Blades. And the High Priestess. Okay. Death in reverse. Oh. Oh, okay. So this is only one little hurdle. Like this is like a pebble. This is kind of like a pothole. It just warns that you're not finished yet. There's going to be other things coming up. So, how you say, you need to be not mindful, just not wary either. Considerate, I think is a word for it. Considerate of yourself. You're not going to be slammed with problem after problem after problem after problem, but it's going to be a bunch of little things, one after the other, kind of like this, kind of like this. Just a bunch of little things, one after the other. And this is just telling you you're not finished. There's still more coming. And so you're not going to get any rest time, much rest time in between. And you will need to look back at, what you've learned here in order to get through this next stuff. So this cycle that you're coming into isn't over yet. You still got to move forward. And you need to be a little abstract with some of the decisions you have to make. Generally the page is, kind of immature, little, but it's not suggesting you be immature with your decisions. You just need to be a bit abstract, which is what you're going to learn here. You're going to learn to think a bit differently, as I said. You're really going to have to utilize it in order to move forward. And you will learn a ton of things from this decision making alone. So after all of this stuff, these little things, and then just go at a pace. Don't try to rush through it. Okay? These guys are driving, but they're going at a pace. You don't need to rush through it. Just be steady throughout. And that's kind of how you make it here. You're going to be able to work with others with more ease. Your relationships with others will be more settled, more Like, nobody's gonna have to guess as to where you stand with them in their lives and vice versa. Okay, you're gonna know exactly where you stand, you're gonna know exactly where they stand, and this is like any kind of relationship, as mentioned here. Co-worker, um, classmate, even, friend, family, spouse, whoever. Um, but this is generally, like, there's a whole circle here. So, in all aspects of your life, after getting through all of this and then all of this extra stuff, I can't even call it hardships because it's not a hardship. They're small things. But we all know how little things can add up in the end. But if you maintain a steady pace, it will not accumulate to be a lot for you. Like, you'll handle it really well. Page of Bones. Yeah, you don't need to be ready to fight. As I keep saying, it's just a bunch of little things. So you don't have to be on guard. You can still kick back, put your feet up, and something's going to happen. But again, these little decision-making lessons that you're walking into is just going to teach you how to look at things from different angles, from different points of view, how to correlate everyone who's involved. So yeah, it's just telling you don't need to be on a defense. You don't need to worry. Just like I said, it's just a bunch of little things. Now, the card that wouldn't leave my hands, the Queen of Goblets, wants to work with the Queen of Pentagrams, which is at the bottom of the deck from the second shuffle, for clarification. All this is saying is that this is pretty much where you're going to be. This is where you need to be, even. So you're going to automatically kind of put yourself into these roles because you're not there yet. You cannot claim, man or woman, doesn't matter. You cannot claim to be this yet until you get through all of this. So by the time you get to here, say you'll be, let's put her sideways. You'll be here, okay? So this is what's to expect. Different vantage points, being able to look at things from different perspectives, considering feelings, remaining grounded, utilizing intelligence to a new capacity. And there is confirmation going on here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so all things considered, this is a really good read. You guys really have nothing to worry about. Your higher self is just letting you know. I guess a lot of you kind of needs to know what to expect and then have that reassurance prior to things happening. And I totally get that because I'm the same way. I need to know what's going to happen. But here, you don't need to prepare per se. Just move into it with ease at a steady pace. Your higher self wants me to keep reiterating that. I have to keep stressing it. With ease. Steady pace. You do not need to be on a defense and you do not need to be ready to fight. It's all good. Just little things piling up. And you're going to deal with it. So at the end, it'll be all gone. Where's that oracle? There's an oracle deck kind of hollering out. Is this it? Queen of the Moon oracle. almost like two more. Oh, I guess that one changed its mind. Sorry. There it is. Okay. Sorry. Waning gibbous 5. Waning gibbous, sorry. Resilience. Waning gibbous 1. Self-reflection. Worm moon. Faith. And at the bottom of the deck, harvest moon, fruition. So, as I said, it's just a lot of little things, one right after the other. I think I mentioned 8 to 10 days for this top row section, and then 10 to 14 days for this bottom row section, and then all the extras just kind of came in. Resilience. You will get through it. You have what you need, and your higher self is adamant, steady pace moving forward. Don't stress. You got it. There may be at times where you're going to have to look back at yourself. So some decisions you may need to base on your own morals and values. And if it sits right with your morals and values, then you're going to know what to move forward with. Others, other decisions that you may have to make could have something to do with kind of like what makes sense in your head. But then you also have to think like, is it good for just you, or is it good for all? And then base your decision on that. But still, morals and values, you got to keep that in mind. I think some of you, not a lot, but some of you, I think after the fifth decision, you're kind of going to get tired of having to deal with all of this. But this card is telling you to have faith. It's almost over by then. So for the few of you that will be exhausted or tired, you might be a little bit too caught up in all the decision making. If you maintain your steady pace, stay out of your head with it, just be open to learn new ways to view things, you will not feel exhausted, but some of you will. So just have faith, it's almost over. This just reiterates what I just said, it's almost over. You will expand, you will grow. As I mentioned with the tarot cards earlier, you will learn different perspectives, different lights, different angles, different vantage points. Like this is a lot of growth. It's steady growth. I'm actually really excited for you. So, seriously, I'm excited. I kind of want to sit here and cheer you on, and I'm that type of person. I'll clap and I'll say keep going. And that's all I want to do. This is wonderful growth. Yeah, can be exhausting at times, but it's still wonderful growth. And that's it for the cards. It's all that wants to speak and it's all they want to say. So I'm going to clear these decks and move on to the next group. Group 4. Let's see what we have. Spirit. So you have a message from Spirit. Deck. Okay. Well, this makes sense. With my as above, so below decks, they came in a pair. They love to work together. Generally, this deck likes to depict the visuals of the message from Spirit or higher self, or whichever of the beings. And generally, this deck depicts messages for you in a 3D. They work together, and so I'll be reading this deck, then this deck, and then them together. So you'll be getting pretty much 3 reads in one. And you may notice that there's some damage done to my cards. When I ordered them, my puppy at the time, I guess he got a little excited and wanted to help me open the package. And he did a good job too. He managed to open the package. And yeah. So my cards have some wear and tear. One more. Generally, these decks, they don't like to be read in reverse. Once in a while, they will request to, but it looks like in this read, they don't. I don't need that many, just be reasonable. Okay, alright, and I guess I'm getting that many, this one too, jeez. Oh yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna fit all this on here. Huh, you wanna stay there. Let's see how this works. Okay. I'm gonna move them down to try and fit them all. And still even further. Okay. Sorry. Just so you can see what I'm doing and how I'm reading it. Maiden of Earth. Now it seems that every time this deck comes out in reference to Spirit, this is the card that wants to represent Spirit. And this card likes to sit right up at top where this card is, as if to say Spirit is watching over all of you, watching over this read even. And confirmation on that. Okay, so let's try. We got spell casting, heal, 8 of water, crown of fire, 7 of air, 5 of fire, 6 of water, Wheel of the Year, Wisdom, Three of Fire. At the bottom of the deck, you got 1 of Fire. Okay, so from Spirit's perspective, I guess I can say, I'm not exactly a perfectionist with laying it all out. I just like to have a bit of room so I can move the cards without scuffling it all up too much. That's the only reason why I fuss with them. It seems that there's a few of you who had lost faith in Spirit. And this read is to remind you that Spirit is here. For the rest of you, it's not that you lost faith in Spirit, it's that you forget. You forget that you can utilize Spirit. So this card is reminding you of Spirit, reminding you of what they can do, what they can offer. Those of you who stop believing in Spirit, this is reassurance, they are still here. So not believing in them, forgetting to utilize them, this is the card that depicts that. Spirit wants you to believe in them again. Spirit wants you to remember them. They want to work with you. They want to help you, support you. Spirit wants you to correlate spirituality into your life. It seems that's what you're missing. If you can see that, there's a face in there. Spirit just wanting to be a part of everything you're doing. I shouldn't say. Spirit he's ready to go in. Spirit's waiting for the direction that you need them to go to support you in whichever aspect of your life you need support in. They want to help you balance out your life, yourself, realign yourself. Usually the three coins depict luck and fortune, but in this case it's just finding that balance, knowing this side from that side, and it's the middle ground. And that's what Spirit wants to help you with. And as I mentioned, he's waiting. They've got all that you need. You just need to request it. You need to ask. Again, incorporate spirituality into your life, however that may be for you. And it's just like saying anytime, every day, Spirit's watching over you, offering you guidance. You just forget and stop believing. But Spirit's always there. But it seems that you need to, confirmation before I even say it, you need to be enlightened. The lot of you are, how you say, holding back, refraining from, not avoiding, just, some of you, I guess. Not deterring. It's like you're beating around the bush. Your enlightenment. You kind of moving all around it, like you're trying to inspect it, figure out what the use of it is, the point of it. But you need to be enlightened. This just reiterates that. This is like a depiction of your enlightenment. Everything will come together. You'll feel more empowered, ready to go, ready to take on the world. Just your spirituality will ascend. Your belief system will be restabilized. I'm going to have to move these cards around so that you can see how I'm reading them and how they are read. Because these cards are not going to fit underneath this row already for where it's sitting. I'll make it work. Not hit the floor. Go there. You're taking your time here, aren't you? Oh, sorry. Whoa, sorry. A little bit aggressive. the top of the deck wanted to be flipped. There's the bottom of the deck. Okay, so for your 3D self, you got the King of Pentacles, Knave of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Two of Swords, crossed by the Empress, King of Wands, Four of Chalices, Three of Chalices, Nine of Chalices, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, Two of Chalices at the bottom of the deck, and the top of the deck wanted to be exposed too, so the Hermit. Okay, so this is your 3D self. It seems that things are going fairly well in your life. It's a good thing, you know, all things considered. Connections, you've made good positive connections. You're grounded, you're emotionally stable, you're financially stable. Your family, it seems that a lot of you have your other, like your soulmate. King and Queen of Pentacles here. And of course the two of you are connected by the Knave of Swords. So that's like, from what I'm seeing, in cannot word it another way, an intelligent connection. Like the two of you are attracted to each other's intelligence. You think highly of each other. You're very, very happy. Your relationship doesn't feel heavy. Now the Two of Swords, usually that means a decision, but you've got the Empress here crossing over, and I'm trying to show you outside the camera. You got the Empress crossing over the Two of Swords. So I can see how this works in my head. It's just hard to verbalize it. Like, you already know what decisions to make. You and your spouse, you know each other so well. You and your friend, whatever, you know, soulmates are soulmates. You know each other so well, you know what the other person will say, you know what decisions they'll make. There's so much comfort is a word that wants to come out. Security, stability, assurance, all that good stuff. There's so much of that between the two of you. You're not afraid to make executive decisions without consulting the other. That's the amount of trust the two of you have for each other. So the decision making comes easy because you know each other that well, you trust each other that well. And the King of Wands, it's like in this read, it's like you have all that you want. You believe you have all that you want. You believe you can sit back, chillax, put your feet up. You believe that you are connected through and through because your life is the way you view it, your life is aligned, stable, and so are you, but you're not. Okay, so the Three of Chalices, usually that is like a celebration, but this is asking you to remember the your inner selves, like your higher self, your inner child, your core. That is what you're missing. Everything seems to be okay in the 3D, the way you physically view your life, everything seems to be fine, confirmation, but you're not spiritually aligned. So your 3D self is not fully connected to your higher self, your inner child, or your core. So this is what you need. Like, they're all reaching for each other. They want that alignment. But you're too distracted with the good things you have in your 3D life. You've worked your ass off to get to where you are. So your pride, like it's all warranted. It looks like you guys have a great life. You have a great life together. And it looks absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I'm really happy for you. But as I said, you're not spiritually aligned. So, again, here's three lizards. Your higher self, your inner child, your core, your 3D self. And again, with these candles here, these candles throw spirit in there. Okay? Spiritual alignment is what you need to do. And then you will have true happiness, true love. Not saying that you are not truly happy right now, it's just you will feel more whole, more fulfilled. So the happiness and the love that you feel right now will multiply. Once you align yourself spiritually, it will multiply. More, bigger happiness. You're going to go from this kind of happy, neighborly happy, and it's going to grow exponentially. Your relationships with people will grow, and your happiness, like I said, will expand once you start aligning yourself spiritually. And you can do that with a little self-care. So some meditation, if you enjoy having a bath, sit in a tub, utilize it, do some meditation. And that's enough to start for right now. I'm gonna move this out of the way. That's gotta be, here we go. I gotta see. I'm gonna make this work. One way or another. I want to apologize, but I can't because this is just the way it's gotta work. Okay. Let's try and get this in order here. And we got this set. Okay. Oh, sorry, that was probably a little abrupt and loud. Okay, so your connection with your spouse, Spirit did that. Made sure that the two of you connected. Spirit connected, as I mentioned, soulmates. And again, this could be a best friends too. But the two of you were meant to be spouses, best friends, siblings even. Spirit made sure that your souls were connected. This is where he connected it. And see. Again, I can see this going on in my head. It's just hard to verbalize. But this is the connection between the two of you. This is how the two of you are able to work together. It's like a depiction of your souls blending well together, working well together. Queen of Pentacles. It works. Like there's hardly hardly a way to explain. It just works. Because spiritually, your souls are connected both in the spiritual realm and in the 3D. They're connected. So it just works. Your relationship just works. For this one. Your 3D selves are too much in your heads that you're forgetting. And again, this whole read that Spirit is asking you is to remember Spirit exists, to remember to utilize Spirit into your lives. So meditation, right? They just want to remind you. But you're too much in your head in the 3D. You're kind of forgetting. You're forgetting how to utilize spirituality. But you have it. You already have it. You're just looking away. This sideways. You're looking away from it. This is kind of the reason why you kind of feel everything is going so good for you. Because it's your soul's connection. Spirit looking after you. But he's also reminding you this needs to be maintained. So he's kind of, Spirit's kind of pushing it down onto your heads. Like, remember, you need to be aligned spiritually in order to keep up with this in the 3D. That was the whole reason you got here. Somewhere in your success, you forgot the alignment. You forgot the spiritual 3D balance. Yeah. This is like a depiction of your spirituality. It's sitting heavy on you, but you're neglecting it. See, even in this picture, it depicts water spirit trying to get your attention, but you're totally chillaxing there in a 3D, just ignoring it. Okay, so your spiritual self, your higher self, your inner child, your core spirit. It's really trying to remind you, kind of snap out of your ignorance in the 3D and remember your spirituality. This one. How you get to celebrations in your 3D, like there's going to be more. I think I already mentioned with this card here, your happiness and your love, it's going to grow exponentially. This is how. Once you're spiritually aligned and in tune and settled and I guess I can say connected, for lack of a better word, that's when all of this exponential happiness comes in. The celebrations. Okay? And then for this one, you have your fulfillment once you are spiritually aligned. It's not just the 3D, and I keep repeating myself, but that's what these cards are saying. The cards are repeating themselves. You will have nothing but luck. Just, like you have a wonderful life. It's like this lifetime you're being rewarded for your successes in all your previous lifetimes. You've overcome all of the hardships. You've completed all of the lessons in your previous lifetime. So this lifetime is your kind of like your reward, your rewarding lifetime. But Spirit's reminding you of your place. You did all of this in your previous lifetimes. This is what you earned. Love and happiness and adoration. But you need the connectivity between your spirituality and your 3D, which is what you're negligent to. Or, But that's what they want. Now, these two, that's right. See, I almost forgot these two. Your wisdom comes from your previous lifetimes. You are able to call upon your previous lifetimes and utilize them in your 3D. How you're working here, how you're living here, how you're making your connections here in the 3D in this lifetime. This is how you're doing it. So, keeping this in mind, like it's really stressing out. Remember your spirituality. It's because of your spirituality that you have this. And Spirit kind of feels that you're not as grateful as you need to be. So Spirit's reminding you, hey, this is all that you did, and this is your past life, this is your soul connections, this is like you got everything you need because of all of this, and I helped you make these connections. I was there. And you're just kind of, you got your head down, you're just ignorant to it, confirmation, you're ignoring it. But all Spirit wants is for you to connect. Once you have your spirituality practice, whether it's, meditating in the bath, once you have your spirituality practice in routine, it could be a daily thing. It should be a daily thing. I'll put it that way. It should be a daily thing for now. Once you get into the habit of it, it'll be easy for you to continue with your spiritual practice with your everyday living. Like it's just going to be natural. It's going to be just like breathing. So you won't always have to take the time because you'd have already aligned wholly and completely. You'll have that empowerment. And it'll all come with ease after. Cards at the bottom of the deck, they kind of want to read. They kind of want to read like this. So, this reiterates your soul connection with your spouse or your best friend or your sibling or whoever you're closest to is a soulmate connection, and it's due to the previous lives that you've had. You get to have a happy life with this person because of all that you had done in your previous life. Again, this is like your rewarding lifetime. But this is why. The Hermit crosses over it, not because it's going to put a stop to all of this, but because you need to add it. Your spiritual aspect needs to be added into your happy life in order to maintain a solid is not the right word. Abundant is not the right word. I don't think there's a word for what it's showing me, to be honest. But it's beyond abundance. It's beyond love. It's beyond, like it's really that powerful. And you will have that. So, again, love and happiness will grow exponentially. But incorporate your spiritual aspect into your 3D life just to maintain this power, this empowerment between the two of you and your everyday life, work, social, personal, at home kind of thing. Okay. That was a lot. I just need to breathe now. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so my past life deck wants to come out, but this card, Maximus, how can you feed others when your own table is empty? From the Magic of You Oracle, kind of flew out of the pile. And again, it's spirit. How are you able to maintain the love and happiness, the joy that you already have if you don't maintain your spiritual aspect in your 3D life? I gotta put this somewhere. It's not suggesting that you're going to lose everything, but it is suggesting you're going to grow tired of it. Eventually, this last little flame is going to go out. This bulb is going to burn out, and you're going to be tired. And you're not going to understand why. Confirmation. No matter how much sleep you get, you're always going to be exhausted. But this is because your soul is tired. Because you're not maintaining it. You're not maintaining your higher self, your inner child, and your core. Confirmation. Hang on. Okay. I had to pause the video for a second so I could answer that call. But yeah, just as I said, keep your spirituality in mind. Now, the past life deck, hey, wanted to come out. I think it wants to tell you a bit of your past lives and how you earned this rewarding lifetime. At least that's kind of what the cards are whispering to me. Ooh, almost. One more. Okay. Keep trying to come out, but they change their minds. Okay. There's still more. Still more. They're really happy. This deck is really happy. So it's like they're proud to tell you about your past lives. I really like this feeling. You guys are great. This is a wonderful, beautiful group. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. I got chills throughout my body here. I mean, that's just all the happiness that that I'm picking up on with your energy and the connection between you and your past lives, your soul. This is how your soul feels. And then I think there's one more. This is a lot, but oh, two more. Excuse me. It's three more. Okay, phone buzzed. That is confirmation that this is the end of the list. Let me try to organize this here. Interesting. Nope. Nope. Sorry. How does this want to go now? Oh wait. Sorry, I'm still trying to organize because this, like I said, this is a lot. This is more than one lifetime they're wanting to tell you about, or spirit wants to tell you about. So I'm trying to organize it in the way they want to tell it. Oh, that's why you stuck out. Okay. It's alright. Still working this. Should be easier to manage. This is almost the whole deck now. Oh, you're in the wrong place. Nope. Okay. Here. Okay, I think I got it. Huh. I'm sorry that took so long. This is like half the deck, but again, the cards are proud of your past lives, proud of what you achieved in your past lives, so they're just proud to show you. That took a bit of energy, but okay, just gotta take a few deep breaths. Okay, so galactic. This is referring to your soul and the beginning of your soul, the birth of your soul. You are star seeds. Okay? This is the start of your journey. This is, thousands and thousands of years ago. Like the birth of your soul. One of your lifetimes, and I cannot put this in order, so keep that in mind. These lifetimes may not be in chronological order. I hear, I guess, how they want to be put together. So these are the groups of lifetimes that Spirit wants to show you. This is how you earned your rewarding lifetime now. Once upon a time, I don't want to say you were a knight per se, but you were someone who fought wars. Okay? You were some type of authority figure. So, maybe you were, I don't know what they're called, but the knight in charge of all the other knights. You could be like the general, the colonel, whoever. You had a higher status. The people who are fighting alongside you in these wars and battles respected you, respected your title, respected your decisions, so they followed you. You had, I don't want to say control, but you had control over this group of people to go into this war. They trusted you, they had faith in you, and you in them. But just like all wars, you go through difficult times. People are lacking sleep, they're starving, okay? And you manage to get them through all of that. They trusted you. Some of them starving nearly to death, and they still followed you. Some of them running on 2 hours of sleep in a week, and they still followed you. It was that kind of authority that you had, that kind of strength that you had, that these people noticed, and you got them through it. Another lifetime, you were a spiritual person, monk, nun, and anything really, just a spiritual person. And this was for yourself, not exactly leading others like a preacher or a priest or minister or anything. This is just for yourself, for your own spiritual enlightenment. Oh. Your own spiritual enlightenment. You found peace among the trees in nature. Chances are you lived in you lived on a mountain. Sometimes there are monks who take a vow of something, like a vow of silence, a vow of that's like the biggest thing. Everybody talks about vow of silence, but takes vows for themselves that they must follow through. Whatever your vow was, you felt that it could be fulfilled in nature, in solitude, and that could have been your vow of solitude. But you gained a lot of wisdom. You achieved a lot of ideas, more enlightenment. This is a success in this lifetime. Okay? In another lifetime, you were native. And again, spirituality. So each of your lifetimes is based around spirituality, faith, trust, just all things spiritual. And this is why Spirit is reminding you to connect your spirituality with your 3D, because this is what all of your lifetimes are about. Some people want to learn lessons of the self, so they end up having lifetimes having to do with lessons regarding the self. So they can go through starvation too, but it's how they overcame it, what they learned, what came out of that lifetime. And that gets carried over to the next lifetime. In your case, it's like you wanted to learn all about spirituality. And that's what each of your lifetimes are about. And you succeeded in each lifetime. No matter the difficulties, the struggles, the tribulations, every trial, you got through it. And you're a medicine person. You were a healer. You healed people. Angels, not always angels. In First Nations people never looked at angels, but they did look at higher beings, ancestors, spirit guides and guardians, animal spirits, animal guides, things like that. And this is just referring to that. You had complete faith and trust in that spirituality, and you called upon that spirituality to help heal. Forgiveness. This is a major lesson that you managed to learn. You had to learn to forgive yourself because of all the spiritual lessons that you were going through. It kind of piled up on your soul, the trials and tribulations that you endured and succeeded on getting through. The experiences of that piled up on your soul. So you really had to learn to forgive yourself before you can move on in the next lifetime, whatever lifetime that is. Again, these lifetimes are not in chronological order. It's just the lifetimes that Spirit wants to remind you of, because these are the most powerful lifetimes where you learned the biggest lessons, where you succeeded on a grander scale. Not saying that you didn't succeed in the other lifetimes. It's just this is on a grander scale. These were the lifetimes where you had the most difficult lessons to learn, the most difficult challenges compared to all the other lifetimes. Now, this one is more clear, this lifetime. This card says Asia, but what's sticking out is Japan. Okay. When the ships began to sail, that was the era that you lived, like one of your lifetimes in Japan. This is the only one out of the entire half the pile, half the deck, that is this clear and this specific. But whenever the ships were built, whenever the ships were sailed, it was the beginning of that era in Japan is one of your lifetimes. There you were a mother. Now you had one, maybe two children. Okay? You did have a husband, but back in that time, back in that era, men were able to have mistresses, and the wives were accepting of that. And this was that case. Now, what I'm getting from this image is that one child is yours, the other child comes from your husband's mistress. But your husband asked you to take care of this child because he felt, again, this is the only lifetime that is this specific and clear. He felt that his mistress was not fit to mother. So she fucked up somewhere in his infancy. So your husband brought him to you so that you can raise this child. And again, back then, it was important that a man in power, which your husband was in power, or whatever, your husband was in power, because this is very specific in this life. Whether you are a man or a woman now, you were a woman in this lifetime, you are a mother. How to make that clear, because it was bugging me in the head. Your husband was in a position of power, in a position of authority. And in that time, it was important that a man in power have at least one successor son. So this is where all the mistresses come in. It heightens the chance of having a son, and the more sons you had, the more abundant you were. That's how they viewed people in this era in Asia, specifically in this lifetime in Japan. Okay? So again, I just said in this one, your husband brought you your mistress's baby because his mistress fucked up in their kid's infancy somehow. I don't know, so like she grew impatient with the crying type of deal. Anyway, your husband believed this woman was not capable, not fit to parent. So he brought his son with his mistress to you to raise. But it was also wartime, so you had a lot of fear. Understanding your position as your husband's wife and being a mother, raising these children, there were people after your husband and willing and ready to utilize his family against him. So you had a lot of fear. But you also learned a lot of lessons. You learned strength, and then of course trust and faith, and because you had faith in your husband to take care of you. You had faith in the deities that you believed in then, the gods that you believed in then. And then you accepted, like having a baby from someone else and raising that child as your own. In another lifetime, you were in Atlantis. You were an Atlantean. There, you were an orphan. But you managed to succeed in life somehow without having the parental guardian, without having the parental guidance, without having someone there to help mold and shape you. Now, these cards did not specify what it is that you have become, but I think in this lifetime, what it feels like, what I'm hearing, is that this is the lifetime where you learned to have faith in yourself. And obviously you succeeded, because this lifetime now is your rewarding lifetime. Karmic relationship. It's a good karmic relationship. This is the soulmate connection I was talking about earlier. You and your spouse, you and your best friend, you and your sibling, whoever it is, that is your soulmate. This is part of your reward that you get now in this lifetime. And it's because of all the connections you had in the past. Now this person, what I'm hearing, was your husband back in Japan. So the two of you were together in that lifetime for sure. In a lifetime of where you were a native medicine person, your spouse, best friend, whoever your soulmate is, was someone that you healed back then. So your soulmate was so thankful for you healing them that they wanted to assist you. So in this lifetime, you made that strong connection, that strong bond. And I think that's all it wants to say in terms of your soulmate connection and why you have it now. It's a bit of a long read. More breathing. Is there anything else? Chinese fortune deck. I think what it sounds like is this deck wants to remind you of all that you earned, reminding you of your place, reminding you of the things that you worked hard for to have in this lifetime. Ooh. Almost. This wants to come out. And this wants to come out. Okay. Wow. Breathe some more. Okay, money. So as an Atlantean, as an orphan, this is telling me you somehow managed to put yourself in a position of wealth. In every lifetime you had, you were wealthy with something. So in Atlantis, money, whatever they used as currency back in that time, you managed to gain it. When you were Native, when you were First Nations at Medicine Person, you would have received gifts from families of people that you hailed or from the people that you hailed themselves. And those gifts, because for the First Nations culture back then, it was a lot of trades. So you would have received a lot of animal hides, bones even, medicinal plants, clothing, anything. You would have received that as thank you gifts for healing. So you're wealthy in that aspect in that lifetime. In Asia and Japan, in that lifetime, again, your husband was in a position of power, so he had a lot of money, so you were well taken care of. So, and this is like just wealth of something, an abundance of something in every lifetime is what you earned, what you gained. Soul symbol, again, it's like your soul wanted to learn all about spirituality, and that was how every lifetime was based. The trials and tribulations that you went through, the discoveries that you made, the self-discoveries, so on and so forth, it was all based around spirituality, and that's what this is reminding you of. Karma, because of your successes, and look at, there's even a little smirk going on in here. Because of your successes, you earned good karma, excellent karma, abundant karma for this lifetime. Proposal. This would have to do with your soulmate. Again, it could be your spouse, your best friend, your sibling. It doesn't necessarily depict marriage or wanting marriage. It's just a proposal to be together. Back when you were First Nations, back when you were a Native and a Medicine Person, your soulmate was there. You healed your soulmate, and that soulmate wanted to become your assistant as a thank you because they didn't have anything to offer you. Okay, so that is a type of proposal as well. Okay, you've earned all of those connections, especially your soulmate in this lifetime. You managed to find ways to have fun in every lifetime, regardless of everything happening, the lessons you had to learn. You always found a way to have fun. And heaven, this is just reiterating the soul symbol. Okay? It's the same thing. Spirituality. And I think that is it for the cards. That took a lot of breath. Gonna be deep breathing here for a little bit after this. Okay, so you guys, I am so freaking proud of you to get through all those lifetimes, to have earned this rewarding, this abundant life now. I'm so happy. I can't get over it. I'm really giddy. I have a lot of energy. I want to bounce about, but the floor is creaking underneath me here, so I don't want to make too much noise. It's amazing. I'm just so happy. This is wonderful energy. Thank you for sharing your energies with me, and I should thank Spirit for sharing your lifetimes with me, because this is amazing. Now you have so much strength and resilience that it's breathtaking. And I can't get over it. But I'm gonna clear these decks now. And this is the end of the reads. Again, thank you for sharing your energy with me. It's absolutely beautiful. And maybe I will sense your energies again in another read.